All right, guys, as we start getting into factoring, we first have to figure out how to pull out a GCF. GCF means the greatest common factor. Okay, the first step in factoring is to look for a GCF. So, what we want to do first is, first of all, let me get an example down here for us. So, our first example, 27y to the 7th plus 12y to the 2nd x plus 9y to the 2nd. All right, so this is our first example. What we want to do first is we want to look at the numbers first, and what is the highest number that can go into all the coefficients? So you have 27, you have 12, and you have 9. So what number can go into all three of these? 27, 12, and 9. So 3 would be the number that can go into all of those. Now what you do is you look at the variables and you see what is common between them. Okay, so this one has y to the 7th, this one has y squared, and this one has y squared. Now, they have two y's in common. You can always think about it as the lowest exponent. So they have a y squared in common. Now let's look at the x's. This one's got 0, this one's got 1, and this one's got 0. So what is the lowest? 0 or 1? 0. So you're not going to take anything out there. Okay, so you do your little parenthesis, and then you divide your numbers. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Subtract your exponents. 7 minus 2 is 5. Divide your numbers. 12 divided by 3 is 4. If I take 2 minus 2, that means I have 0 y's left, and I just have an x. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. And that's it. Okay, so let's try another one. 7ab minus 35a squared b. Let me scoot this over. Oh, I don't need to. So remember, first thing we want to do is we want to look at the numbers. What can go into both 7 and 35? 7. Okay, so we looked at the numbers. Now let's look at the letters. And we want to take the lowest the lowest exponent. So we have a to the first and a to the second. So a to the first is the lowest. You have b and then you have b. So just b. All right, so here we go. 7 divided by 7 is 1. A, you took that out. B, you took that out. So what we want to make sure here is we don't put nothing here like a 0. You want to hold the place with a 1. Because when you do like 8 divided by 8, that's 1. So 7ab divided by 7ab, that's 1. So what is 35 divided by 7? 5. What's 2 minus 1? 1. And then you took that b out. And that's it. So that's your GCF. Second thing we're going to learn today is how to do difference of squares. So what we want to do first is we want to look for perfect squares. And then we're going to kind of do like x squared minus y squared. This is the difference of squares. And how we factor it is we do x minus y and x plus y. So like I said before, there's going to be different squares. There's going to be perfect squares. Okay, so let's just start off with one so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about. So x squared minus 4. Okay, first step is to always look for a GCF. Is there something in common between these two? No, there is not. So what you want to do is go ahead and set up your two parentheses. You're going to look at the first term, x squared. That's a perfect square, x and x. 4 is also a perfect square. What are two numbers that multiply together to give you 4 that are the same number? 2 and 2. Or you could think of what is 4's perfect square? 2 squared is 4. You want a minus sign and you want a plus sign. That's it, guys. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try a little more difficult. 81x squared minus 25. Okay, again, first thing you do is you check for a GCF. Is there a number that can go into both 81 and 25? No. So go ahead and get your little parentheses ready. 81 is a perfect square. What two numbers that are the same multiply together to give you 81. Or you can think of, what is the square root of 81? 9, right? And x squared has x and x. All right, what's 25's perfect square? Good, 5 and 5. And again, we want a minus and a plus. All right, let's go one more. Let's go 7y cubed minus 28y. All right, so look at that. Remember, first step is to pull out a GCF if there is one. Is there a GCF? 7 and 28. Yes, 7 can go into both of those. What is the smallest y? Y to the third or y? Just y. Good. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. What's 3 minus 1? 2. 28 divided by 7 is 4. And then you took out the y. All right. Now that you've taken out the GCF, this right here is the difference of squares. Look, it looks like this first one, except for this one had an x. So keep your 7y on the outside. Don't forget him or you're going to miss a point. Y squared is just y and y. What is 4's perfect square? Good, 2 and 2. And there it is. All right, try your practice problems, guys.